And welcome to tonight's episode of TCP, the Pagan Store podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Amber.
I'm Brandon. Oh yeah, I'm here.
Also joining us tonight are...
I'm Barrett.
I'm Snooze.
I'm Naria.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
I'm Sarah from PanGaia Metaphysical Store.
Alright, and tonight we are talking about PanGaia Shop.
Woohoo!
Alright. So, Amber, you want to just take it from here, or what?
Sure, why not? Oh god, eyes, can't read. Ow, ow. Alright, so a little bit different. We've been going through Etsy stores and different things, and tonight we have an interview with somebody who has an actual physical pagan store. So the typical meet and greet, you want to introduce yourselves, and, well, I guess since Philip's out, you want to introduce yourself and give a little background on where you're located.
We actually have an online store right now, and we do a lot of vending events in the Lincoln, Omaha area, and that's Lincoln and Omaha, Nebraska. So surprisingly large number of pagans in that area, so it works out great. My name is Sarah Berman. I'm also known as Kali Sarah online, and a few other things, some of which cannot be repeated. I am a mother of 2 children, partner to a very wonderful person who serves me dinner in my office while I'm getting ready to do interviews. Both Phil and I, Phil is my partner, also known as Revcast, and we both have full-time, quote-unquote, real jobs, which are about as real as a heart attack, if you get my drift.
So what do you do for your real jobs?
I am I just got upgraded. Yeah, I know. I feel like a software program. I am the corporate documentation coordinator for a company that is located both here in Nebraska and in Colorado. And I coordinate all of the documents and protocols and things like that for both locations. We're actually an FDA-regulated company, so it's pretty intensive sometimes. Yeah. Right now I have eye strain because I've been watching demos all day for finding a new documentation program. And let me tell you something. These people are drier than a box of sand left out in the sun and then dehydrated some more.
Well, that sounds awfully friendly.
Oh, yeah. But, it's challenging and it has its moments, so. And then Phil is he just got upgraded, too. He's a second assistant at a convenience store in Lincoln.
Okay.
So, which is why he doesn't.
For both of you, this would be a welcome, relaxing task to do in your spare time.
Wait, what? Spare time? Huh? What is this thing of which you speak?
Spare time, that's something you do, spending on the PanGaia shop.
Yeah, well, aside from the fact that I take all my vacation time to do the vending shows.
Oof.
Yeah, but, no, it's actually pretty laid back, and it has its own challenges and things, but I guess you could say it's a little less high-pressured.
So what inspired you to open up a pagan shop?
Well, okay, Phil and I have known each other since we were 19, which is going on, oh my god, I'm old.
5 years?
15 years now. Oh, my birthday is Friday. But,
oh, happy birthday. Mine's
thank you.
Monday.
Ooh, Aquarians. Air signs unite. But yeah, so we've known each other for 15 years. And pretty much 3 months after we met, and, completely bonded as only two freaks of a similar nature can, we started talking about what the ideal pagan bookstore would be and how we would plan it and what we would do if we ever started it. And this conversation continued for about 13 years. And then one day, at the very beginning of the recession, early 2009 really, we both decided that, you know what, we have a couple hours here and there. Surely we can add something else to the plate. What should it be? And the natural answer was, Lincoln and Omaha have a couple of pagan bookstores, but nothing that is really what we would like to see. And so we decided that, you know what? If we can't find it, we might as well do it. So we did.
So what was your biggest obstacle in setting up?
I had to learn how to make a web page.
Congratulate you on that, because that is hell.
I cheat. I cheat really, really badly. I'm going to make all of the web designers in the world wince all at the same time. I use Publisher.
Oh, good. Thank God. I thought you were going to say front page.
No, hey, if it works, it works.
It doesn't require me learning HTML, and like I said, I have 2 kids, so my time has to be very, very focused in order to get this done. So, really, thank the gods and all of the communication gods and all of the technology gods and all of the other gods just for fun. Thank them all for the internet, because you want to do something like this, all you have to do is do the right searches. So they kind of tell you exactly how to do it. So we essentially set up, I think we had like weekly meetings in the beginning, and we did those for about 2 or 3 months, figuring out exactly what kinds of products we were going to carry, what kind of feeling the store was going to be. We even went so far as to map out our ideal store setup for a physical location, which, if anybody wants to donate a couple $100,000 so that we can actually get that going, that would not be remiss. But, I'd say the biggest obstacle to us actually getting the physical location, which is what we're really going for, is capital. Because I'm not independently wealthy, and neither is Phil.
Yeah, and from what I understand, pagan shops can be a little bit hard on the setup. Owning your own business in general can be rough, but pagan shops are a little bit harder. So
yeah. So, we decided that if we, really we're kind of settling for a web store right now, but it keeps us focused on actually doing it instead of just, oh, yeah, there was that thing we were going to do. So, yeah. And, of course, the thing is, there is so much support for us out there. I mean, every single time we do a vending event, the most common question we get is, when are you opening up the store? When can we come and actually visit you in the store? And we're like, well, you win me the lottery. So
that's awesome that you have that big of a base already.
Oh yeah, it's been wonderful. And just the experience of doing the web store has, we know what we're doing. we were allowed to learn how to essentially run a business without having everything come crashing to a halt. Because, a web store is a great startup because, it has a more manageable overhead. You can keep it going with virtually no income. So it's been great. And yeah, every time we go to these events, one of the events is actually run by the same guy who owns the Pagan store in Omaha, which is called Next Millennium, and I'm going to plug it because they are awesome. And Charlie, who is the godfather of Nebraska Pagans, is awesome and has been nothing but supportive and helpful in everything that we've done. So, yeah, the community itself is literally on the edge of its seat, just waiting for us to be able to get this done.
So now, is it just the two of you, you and Phil, or do you have family members that help out with this?
My parents babysit.
Well, that's a huge help. Kudos to the parents. Yay!
It is. And my boyfriend, Stormy, he does all the heavy lifting because, we have cast iron cauldrons, which is really great, but they're about a 2-foot by 2-foot box packed full of cast iron cauldrons. They get a little heavy, and he is. Stormy's been so great. He's gone to all of these vending events with us, and he loads up the van and he unloads the van and he helps us set up, and he essentially is our brawn. So,
which is a huge help.
Yeah, it's the little things. It really is.
Hey, boxes of cauldrons aren't a little thing.
This is true. Fortunately, they're usually much lighter when we take them home.
So, on your site, it has that you have artisans, or different artisans, volunteering their product. If somebody is interested in selling their wares in your shop, how should they go about contacting you, and do you have a list of what you're looking for or any qualifications?
We pretty much take it as we see it. We try not to rule anything out because even though in general it may not be what we're looking for, specifically it could be perfect. So if you have something that's pagan-ish, a pagan slant to it, you can get a hold of us at, there's info at PanGaiaStore.com, there's sales at PanGaiaStore.com, there's Sarah B at PanGaiaStore.com, there's Philip K at PanGaiaStore.com. All of this is on our contacts page, which of course is PanGaiaStore.com/contacts with a capital C .htm. And we are currently blacked out today in honor of the anti-SOPA, anti-PIPA thing.
So are we! Woo!
I know! It took me forever to find the website for you guys. Surely it's got to be somewhere. But yeah, our contact page, you can get a hold of us there. Phil and I both have our PanGaia Store emails going forwarding to our regular emails so that we don't miss any of them. But you can get a hold of us there. You can get a hold of us on Facebook, PanGaia Metaphysical Store on Facebook. And I believe that is the specific... Let me double check that. There we go. Yeah, it's PanGaia Metaphysical on Facebook, but if you do a search for PanGaia Metaphysical Store, there's a lovely picture of me and Phil right there. So Phil and I are on Facebook, if not every single day, then every other day. We have a Twitter feed, PanGaiaStore.com, at PanGaiaStore.com. So really anything that has PanGaia Metaphysical Store, PanGaia Store, anything like that, it'll get back to us. But yeah, we try not to do too much business on social networks on our personal pages, But if you send us a message, we will respond.
So as long as it is pagan friendly-ish.
Yes. And we've looked at things like one woman was thinking about doing some bags that had like all of these little pockets for like a portable altar. We have Arden. Ellen Nixon is one of our favorite artists. She actually designed our logo, and so we have her stuff up there. We have Phil Makes Runes. There's a few other people who make painted statuary and things like that. So yeah, I mean, if you can put a pagan slant on it, then we'll take a look at it and see how it works.
Very cool. And you mentioned Phil does runes. So is there anything else that you guys do?
I try not to do anything except for actually running the website, because otherwise I have this problem. Actually, we both have this problem of taking on too much and then not actually getting anything done. So I've kind of limited myself to only doing running of the store stuff. Stormy, however, makes wands and staves from wood that we take off of the umpteen thousand bushes that we have around our house, and the plum trees and the pear trees and stuff like that. So he does that stuff. He's working on getting some there's really big hunting seasons around here. Yeah, rural Nebraska, we like to kill things. And so I have standing orders with some of my coworkers who are really big hunters that if they happen to get a deer and they don't want any of the actual body parts of it, to fork them over, and we'll see what we can make out of that. So yeah, it's pretty much a matter of creativity. And Phil, upon request, he doesn't have the time right now to do it indiscriminately, I guess you would say. But upon request, he does do woodworking on like boxes that you would keep tarot cards or like stones or ritual jewelry, etc. So, and actually I believe there is a picture of that on his page, if I can grab that real quick. If you go to our products page, it says Runic Creations by Phil, and there is a box on the page that he did for a special order from one of our friends.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, one of the awesome things, I think, about our store versus other pagan stores, if you want something specific, ask. If it's not on the store, still ask. Several times I have gone in and looked for essentially the best deal that I could find through our contacts and elsewhere. And if we cannot get it for you cheaper than you can get it directly, then we'll just give you the link. So we're not in it for the money, really. I mean, that's what it comes down to. We never really expected to do this for the money. If we can do it as a, making a living kind of thing, that would be great. But we want to be able to help people find the stuff that they want, because, I mean, that's the thing that we've always felt was the most important thing about a pagan store is, you need to have certain things in order for your pagan life to be complete, great. We will help you do that.
That's all sorts of cool.
I know, right? We're all like altruistic and stuff. It's kind of new agey, freaky something.
Probably why I get reasonable prices when I shop there.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. We're like, we want to keep our prices low. We could jack up the prices as much as we wanted, but why do that? People, everything's tight. We're tight. Everybody's tight. You want a ring because it increases your spiritual growth. We'll help you get that.
Yeah, you really don't find attitude like that much in the business world, so that's spectacular. Thank you guys for... I would say thank you for your attitude, but that sounds kind of silly.
Yeah. Well, and, like I said, we spent probably 2 months before the launch of our website talking about, what kind of business we wanted to run. And, it's a business, but we don't have to be jerks about it. Not to put too fine a point on it. We need to do this for ourselves, not for the money. I mean, that's really what it is. The whole thing has been such a personal drive for the two of us that it's not about how can we make a quick buck. If we could, if we were in it to make a quick buck, we'd be doing something else. But we like to help people, and that's the way that we enrich our lives. That's the way that we like to live our lives. So that's what we decided on.
Not only do you sell things, you do classes too.
Yes, that's been kind of an in-process thing. Like I said, we end up putting a lot of stuff on our plates that tends to overflow. So we would like to actually do some classes online. And so if anybody has any suggestions or classes that they would like to see, that would certainly be an impetus for us to do that. Both of us are kind of social creatures in the sense that we really don't like working in a vacuum. So we kind of get all these really great ideas, and then we're like, but nobody's here to watch us. So, yeah. Underwater basket weaving, yeah, there you go. You go underwater and you weave a basket. Class dismissed.
So right now it looks like you offer, was it past life regressions, natal chart, and tarot and oracle readings?
Yes, and Phil and I together do the past life regressions, and because of the time difference, it kind of takes a little bit of planning for us to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Phil does the past life readings and the Phoenix card mandala, and we both do tarot card readings. I don't create natal charts because I'm really, really anti-math. I don't like anything that requires any kind of calculations whatsoever, but I'm really, really good at interpreting natal charts as a comprehensive whole. Okay. So that's what I do.
So if somebody is going for some of your, let's just say, past life regressions, mm-hmm. How do you go about doing those? Is it just for people that are in the area? Do you do them online?
Really, we would prefer to do them in person, but if you're interested, contact us and we'll see what we can work out. I mean, really, that's all I can promise about that. Mm-hmm. But, it's another one of those things that when we do a past life regression, it's about helping people figure out their, I guess, greater path, the sort of karmic path that one takes throughout their lifetimes. And so if somebody's interested in doing that, then, we're certainly willing to do as much as we can in order to facilitate that. But ideally, we would all be in the same room.
So what do you enjoy most about what you do?
I'd say all of it, but that's not really true. I'd say none of it, but that's not really true. There's always something to discover. And the best way to describe that is we recently added tarot decks to our store products. And, I have tarot decks. I've seen several tarot decks. But in getting these tarot decks on our website, I really had to go into a lot of different tarot decks that I may not have actually taken even a second look at. And they're really cool. There's a lot of really cool tarot decks out there. And, different kinds of oracles and things like that. And, just seeing what is out there and where you can get it from and what kinds of people are creating things for what purposes. There's just always something new and different and interesting. And, we come across a lot of things that are very artistic. And really the best way to describe it is just gorgeous. A lot of these things are just absolutely gorgeous. And it's kind of inspiring to see that so many people are putting out so much awesomeness into the world, that's really the best way to describe it. There's a lot of awesomeness going on. And, working on the website and adding product to the website, just that alone provides so much insight into, what's going on in the metaphysical community, in, what is interesting to pagans. Just that perspective it's always something new.
Do you have anything in particular that you could say were some of the more surprising things that you've learned from watching how the patterns shift?
Yeah. There is a lot of... I'm not really sure how to explain it. There's a lot of potential for a pagan store to be generic. Having the same things over and over, and I've seen it in a lot of stores that I've visited online, and even a lot of stores that I've visited in, physicals. And, there's just, it's so easy for pagan stores to be carbon copies of each other, same story, different name kind of thing. But at the same time, what I've seen is that has a tendency of being a result from people who essentially see the potential for making money. And, I actually have some real-life experience with a couple of those stores where, you can tell just by meeting the owner that this was not about any, love of pagan products or joy of the pagan community or anything like that. It was about the money. And unfortunately, that seems to breed a lot of I'm trying not to say this in a way that's insulting because I don't mean it to be insulting, so I'm just going to put out that disclaimer and say it anyways. A lot of newbies tend to be the same old, same old. They come in, they do the same things that every other newbie has ever done, and I really think that part of that is because they have the same things available to them as every other newbie has had. You get the Barnes & Noble do-it-yourself voodoo kit, or, this, that, and the other thing, and it isn't really until you have people who know the pagan community, who have, you don't have to have been a pagan for X number of years, but you have to know the pagan community. You have to have been involved with the pagan community on a certain level. And when you get that, then you have store owners and pagans who throw in their individual touches. And I think you're seeing a lot more of that today because you have a lot more, well, first of all, a lot more pagans that fall into that category of having the experience with the pagan community, but also a lot more opportunity for people to actually, put out these products and start these stores and things like that. And I think it's very important to, support people who do that. Not, obviously not just our store or anything, but, find a store that appeals to you and support them, and you're going to see a lot more of what appeals to you, rather than that, carbon copy, generic kind of thing that can be so pervasive.
It could almost be described, and this is if I'm understanding you right, is that a large amount of pagan stores can almost be considered sterile. Even though they have some really pretty things, it's...
Yeah, I mean, that's my main complaint about most pagan stores, is like it's the Walmartification of paganism.
Exactly, the Walmart.
Yeah.
They might be different names in different cities, but you walk into the shop, it's like, oh, it's this stuff again.
Right.
Same brand, same things all over again.
Exactly. And, Phil and I, one of the things that we do is we really look for people who can provide us with stuff that takes us out of that mold. Takes us away from the same old, everybody gets their stones from the same wholesaler, and this, that, and the other thing, and you buy the same books by the same authors, and one of our favorite people on Facebook is a woman who, unfortunately, is closing her store. Not so unfortunately by her choice, but she has the most awesome voodoo stuff that she will, she's actually made and sent us some of her products. And of course she's in New Orleans. And, it's that kind of stuff where, the kind of stuff that a lot of stores would be like, well, do we really want to carry something that's voodoo? And Bill and I are like, yes, we do. We want to have an entire book section for LGBT alphabet soup pagans. I want to have classes on pagan parenting and otherkin lifestyle and things like that. We want to be able to provide that little bit of odd duck kind of thing that very much says we are not Walmart. So, but yeah, I think that encouraging that is, that's something that everybody can do. Everybody can find those little niche stores that go the extra mile to provide you something a little more unique.
something that may not be quite taboo, but it's not a guaranteed moneymaker. It's more out of a personal passion, per se.
Well,
Right,
It's also
right.
the stuff we have to wait for, those once-a-year festivals to go to and actually find.
Exactly.
I can't walk into my local pagan shop and pick up some awesome, leather ritual robe. I just can't do that. But if I go to a certain pagan festival here in Texas, I know there's a leather maker that goes there, and I can get stuff custom made.
Yeah, and that's something else that we would really like to see ourselves accomplish. We have a seamstress, and by that I mean there is an actual seamstress who makes garb for us. And she has her own line in PanGaia. It's Crohn's Creations, and she also sells under her personal label of Which Way Wear. And oh my goodness! Now, her clothes are super expensive for what you can usually find at festivals and things like that. But you take one look at the stitching, you take one look at the finishing stuff, and oh my goodness. I mean, this is the gold standard here. And I am not really big on giving praise about, sewing and stuff like that. Oh no, this is the gold standard. This woman rocks.
Yeah.
So this is not Halloween costume material we're talking here. This is...
No. No, she puts the time, the effort, and the money into every single piece that she makes, and it shows. But we would also like to find somebody who could do blades for us. Because, you can find the little unsharpened athames and things like that, and the generic stuff, and the mass-produced stuff. We want to see honest to goodness, handcrafted, hand-forged, sharp ritual stuff. Because you know what? Most pagans I know, and maybe it's just the pagans that I hang out with, but you get this dull little blade, and people are like, really?
Yeah, this
really?
is supposed to be cutting through metaphysical stuff. I can't even cut my finger on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't cut through pea soup. How's it supposed to cut through the ether? But yeah, and that's one of the things that we look for, even with the quote-unquote mass-produced stuff. We want to find stuff that, yeah, it may have been made in a machine somewhere, but at least it's good quality. And at least it's, not some little movie prop replica thing.
Oh, yeah, the gajillion and one fantasy blades that are out there.
Yeah. So, we'd like to find a blade maker. Unfortunately, again, all of our wet dream craftsmen are in very expensive crafts. So, again, must win lottery.
Either that or get all these people that show up to these cool festivals together and sell crap at your store.
I know. Well, and, that's another thing is Phil, who is our social stud. I'm the get-her done gal. He's the social stud because he likes to talk to everybody nonstop. Mm-hmm. No, really. No, it's okay. Shut up now, Phil. All right. He has correspondence with probably 50-plus musicians and authors and this, that, and the other thing. And we would like to utilize our physical store when we get it, because, there is an ideal world out there. When we get it, as a venue for people to put on workshops and do book readings, and I'm fairly certain that Dave the Bard, of all people, has told Phil that name the place and time and he will show up to do a show as long as it fits in his schedule. I mean, just, yeah, and we're like, Dave the Bard would come to our store. We have to have a store! Why? So, yeah. I mean, we have all of these wonderful, wonderful plans, and unfortunately, we really just can't do very much with it right now. But at least the planning keeps us going. So, yeah. And you know,
go ahead.
The thing about having authors and musicians like that is, I mean, these are the people who are living the life of a pagan lifestyle. I mean, you know, you have somebody who is living off of what they make, singing songs about paganism. You really can't get much more pagan lifestyle than that. You know, these are I mean, just to meet them, to have a discussion with these people would be so awesome. I want to do it, and I want other people to do it.
Yeah, I actually had a good discussion with Dave DeBard a couple of years ago by pure accident. I didn't know who he was at the time. I was in the middle of dying, so I was accidentally in a cabin with all these cool, like, big-name pagans, and I just thought, these are just kind of cool people hanging around. What's up? I met Teeth on Coil, Nordic Cedar and Young, Dave DeBard, Jason Pitts of Waters. I met everybody. And I was busy dying.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, they're people.
Yep.
And I'm sure that they crave, you know, the not fawning adulation type of discussions just as much as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear David's funny.
David just likes a good audience. He just likes the audience, man.
Yeah. He comes across as quite the ham.
Don't know.
Now, when you go and vend, does that mean that you have a whole stock of things between the homes of you and Phil that you keep all of this stuff before it ships?
No, they're all in. It's all in Phil's closet.
Oh, it's
Actually, I think it has overflown or overflowed the bounds of his rather large walk-in closet and is now creeping towards the guest bed. But yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Essentially, I'm responsible for getting myself, the children, and Stormy to Lincoln, and then we lit up the van at Phil's house and go on to Omaha, which is where most of our events are.
Now, does that include the stuff that you get from other people who have been selling things in your shop? Do you just have their stuff there too?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Oh,
and let's see, the lady in New Orleans, you know, she shipped us a box of stuff. Arden actually lives down the street from Phil, so that's pretty handy. But yeah, I mean, we actually, one of the first things that we did was we drew up some contracts for our artists that pretty much outlines, you know, it's not like we're locking you into anything, but, you know, it outlines who's responsible for doing what, at what stage, and, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, it's more of a cross-protection thing. And, you know, we have a lot of stuff that we keep the Postal Service going.
Wow. I'm just thinking of having a closet overflowing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he has 2 walk-in closets, and I believe there's stuff in both of them, plus a hall closet and an entire guest bedroom. And, yeah, we have a lot of stuff.
Wow.
So, and of course, we keep getting more. You know, we found some really wicked pendants, and as soon as I can get Phil to give me an itemized list. See, that's the unfortunate part of having it in other locations. I need the itemized lists, but Phil has to make them. So we do a lot of poking of each other. But as soon as he gets me an itemized list, I'll be able to put our in-stock pendants on the website, and they are gorgeous. They're like this ceramic screen printing, which means that, I mean, the detail is so awesome. And, you know, like I said, I'm actually very particular about stuff. You know, I'm the anti-pagan because, you know, I don't like stones, I don't like jewelry, I don't like gaudy clothes, and I really just don't like to buy things. So, if it impresses me...
Which is awfully ironic that you're running a shop. So.
I know, isn't it, though? Because, you know, everybody's like, well, you know, oh, look, this ring called to me. And I'm like, yeah, it called you with a bill. I'm such a snark about it, too. But, yeah, it's the irony has not been lost on me on that. But, yeah, I'm very particular. If I buy something, I mean, there are things that I've bought that I have literally drooled over for years before I actually lay down the money for it. So if I'm impressed with something and I say, you know what, I would buy it, that actually does say a lot.
As an artist and a crafter, I can relate, because there's a lot of times where I'll go and people are like, oh, this is so pretty, and oh, then, yeah, that's nice. Yep, it's alright. But if something is really awesome, and usually if a crafter of any sort, even... You could take even doing the shop and doing natal charts still takes a very creative mind, and usually if those people say, this is spectacular...
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah. The way I figure it, I have an eye for detail. You know, I'm the kind of person who, you know, I look at the seam work of a piece of clothing. I look at the way it fits. You know, I don't just put it on and go, wow, this is pretty. You know, I look at all of these things. I'm kind of a freak in the sense that I'm like uber frugal. Like, I don't spend money on anything. I have a yearly budget for clothes and shoes of like $100 or $200, which for a woman is insanely low. But,
at least generally speaking.
Well, yeah. But, you know, the thing is, when I look at something, you know, I'm looking at the details. I'm looking at an image and looking at the way that the shapes are, the way that the colors are, and you know, I'm the kind of person who sits there and looks at a famous painting, and I'm like, okay, you know what, that line's not really quite straight enough. It would be better if it had been straight, or you know, that shade of orange just isn't quite clashing enough with the shade of neon green in order to have the effect that they were going for. So, yeah, I definitely apply that with a very skeptical look at the products that we carry. And, you know, one of the things that Phil helps me balance is, you know, we have to have a range of products. You know, we can't just have all expensive products, and we can't just have all cheap products. So we have to have a range of products. So, you know, you have to, you know, find that little balance between, you know, the really high quality that's going to cost you a lot of money, but be worth it, and the stuff that is probably more affordable for most people, but isn't quite to that level. So
very nice system of checks and balances.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, Phil and I, we fight like cats and dogs sometimes. I mean, we bicker like nobody's business. We kind of scare people. If we're both in a bad mood, then you need to clear the room, because we're just like, rawr! But we have this way of meshing, the way that we look at things, the way that we interact with people, and things like that. It works. He makes up for the things that I'm not that good at. I make up for the things that he's not that good at. So it works really, really well.
That's awesome. It's hard for people to find a partner in business like that.
Yeah.
So even though you guys balance each other out, is there a part that you still get stuck with that you really like the least out of the whole thing?
Well, yes, there is. See, I've mentioned that Phil is the social stud. You could also say that he's the social slut. He frequently goes to the vending events, and I'm an introvert. I know I don't act like it most of the time, but I really am an introvert. If I have a choice between being in a crowd and being by myself, I'm going to be by myself. So a lot of times at vending events, I get really tense if I have to do a lot of interaction, which of course is the status quo. But if I'm the one who's carrying all of the interactions, then it makes it worse. And Phil likes to go around to all of the vendors and all of the customers and throughout the whole big room of people and not be at the table. So I kind of get annoyed about that, but that's okay because I berate him about it. But yeah, I mean, I'm much more comfortable dealing with people one-on-one, and unfortunately, the vending events can be a little overwhelming. When you have 500 or 600 people coming through every hour, that may be an exaggeration, but it gets that way sometimes.
It just completely understand.
Yeah, and we have taken steps. We learn over the course of the time. We take steps. We do a lot of cleansing of our area. We do a lot of just stopping and I'll stop people that I see stressed and I'll grab their hands and just stare them right in the eye, and then we take deep breaths. And then we're all better. And, I fully expect people to do the same thing to me because, every now and again you just need to reconnect with what you're doing. And, it's so easy to get scattered at these events.
Yeah. So many different people, so much energy going around, and then the stress of being around so many people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually keep getting invited to cons, like anime conventions and comic book conventions and things like that, which we think is really odd, but okay. And we did our first one last summer, and it was a 3-day event. And okay, when I get really, really stressed, I don't eat very well. And really the best food that I've found to calm me down and get me back into me is beef jerky. So by the end of the convention, I was eating a half a bag of beef jerky, just sitting there chewing on it. So it was, but it was so much fun. And we had a bunch of robes and cloaks that our seamstress had made, and one of them happened to be a priest collar style robe in a brown color. So we have a picture on our Facebook page of Stormy in that, and he's sitting there staring at one of there was another table that builds robots, and they had a replicate of R2-D2 running around. So he's all sitting there talking to R2-D2 in this brown robe. He looked like a Jedi.
Nice.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's always something new and different.
So do you think you guys are just going to stick to the vending and the online store for a long time, or do you see opening a physical store as maybe a possibility in the next, say, 4 years or so?
Oh, don't tease me. It is completely and totally dependent on money. And I hate to have it come down to that, but that's pretty much what it is. if we could open it tomorrow, I would be all over that. I mean, literally all over that. I would have the blueprints on my computer outlining where everything is going in like 5 seconds flat. It's just a matter of getting the capital, because apparently looking really pretty and batting your eyes does not get you a building.
Which is a shame, because it should.
It should. I am.
Well, I know one innovative solution that one pagan shop has done down. I hate to call it Houston because it's not really Houston. They're a little on the outside of Houston towards my way. And what they did is, instead of having a shop in the city of Houston that's open all year round, what they did is actually rent a spot up at the Renaissance Fair, which is open for 3 months of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And they rent their spot, and that's where they get most of their business. Like, they use that business to fund their road trips to the various, pagan festivals they want to go to and vend at. So they use the one business to kind of fund the rest of the business.
Yeah. I don't know if Lincoln has anything like that. I mean, we have, weekend Ren fairs, but that really wouldn't do the same thing. I don't know, maybe we could look into getting, a kiosk at the mall or something. That'd be interesting.
You gotta go where the pagans are at. And usually pagans show up to anime conventions, Ren fairs.
It's true. It's true.
Not sure how applicable this will be in your situation, but maybe a flea market.
Yeah.
Something indoors preferred, but hey, that's just me.
Flea markets can be kind of hit or miss, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 3 pagan shops at our flea market down here in Houston.
Yeah. Yep. We're definitely gonna have to look at some out of the box ideas. But yeah, we're working on it. I mean, that's really all it comes down to is we work. A yurt. Yurt. I like yurts. I want to live in a yurt.
Yurts are pretty awesome.
I know, right? And they're fun to say. So, yeah. Right now, I've been kind of teasing the idea of an angel investor, and I just came up with a new invention, and it has absolutely nothing to do with paganism. But if I get that off the ground, maybe I could use that to fund the PanGaia Store.
Well, you could do one of those Kickstarter projects.
Ooh, yeah, there we go. With the number of people that we have. Ooh, if we launched a Kickstarter just before vending season, we could pass out information at the vending events.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm doing the Dr. Evil pinky on the corner of the mouth thing. Definitely.
We need $1 million.
$1 million isn't that much anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Sad thing is, I really honestly think that if I had $1 million, I could totally work it that I would never, ever want for money again, simply because I have 2 policies. I don't need a new house, I don't need a new car, I don't need new anything, so, no gratuitous spending. And if I enjoy my job, why would I quit it? And, right now I have 2 or 3 jobs going, so... Yeah. Surely one of them will work. But
Yeah, I imagine that would be the other half of running the pagan shop is day jobs.
Yeah. There's not many people who can start a decent, really nice, really well thought out, really good energy type of pagan shops without putting in the time. I mean, even Charlie of Next Millennium, he started out as a display in another store. Like a little countertop display. So, but you know what? He has his own store. He's upgraded locations twice now. He's the godfather of Pagans in the Lincoln, Omaha area. So we have high hopes that we can do the same.
Yeah, you basically just got to start small and work up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So not only do you have day jobs, you run the online store, you do vending, you do parenting. What else do you guys... I see there's blogging, there's podcasting, there's Dolphin Moon Coven.
Yes, and yes. Phil and I do a weekly plus podcast, Pagan Musings podcast, and that includes Pagan Weekly News. There's Lavender Hill. There's selections from the mess. Fortunately for me, Phil runs most of that. We both have blogs, and that is plural. We have the Pagan Musings blog. We have the store blog. We have my blog is Kalima, Dark Side of Parenting, and that is a pagan parenting blog, essentially. A little more parenting than pagan, but, you know. And it's I kind of created it because there's a lot of nasty, icky things that go into parenting, including some of the emotions that you sometimes feel about parenting. And I decided that there should be an outlet for that. So we have those, and you know, thank the gods for copy paste. You know, we end up crossing over a lot of our blogs. We do weekly updates on the store. We have the Dolphin Moon Coven, which is a non-traditional. And by traditional, I mean you have the specific traditions like Gardnerian and Alexandrian and all that. It's a non-tradition specific coven that focuses on teaching. And so it's, again, unfortunately, very loose and sort of an ad hoc type of coven. We do things as needed. Yeah, like the Universalist Church of Covens. When I was living in Lincoln, we did weekly discussion groups on top of everything else. Yeah, we kind of have an aversion to that thing that you mentioned before, spare time. We're pretty well convinced that having spare time is somewhat the same as having an STD. You just don't want it.
Amber, they're just like PCP, except that instead of a store, we have a cult, and we do work for the museum.
Yeah. What, we have the museum, we have several different podcasts.
Several different blogs, several different support groups.
Yeah.
Projects we can
and when
do
I'm
so. Not
doing that, I do artwork on the side. So yeah, we have the same aversion.
And videos.
Yeah.
Don't forget our video, YouTube, everything.
Hey.
And we can't forget the day life.
And the day life.
Wait.
Yeah.
Day? Are you daywalkers?
It's daylight when I'm in work, so I guess that kind of counts.
Do you hide inside all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend can confirm that.
Yeah. The evil
Speaking
ball
of
of
which-
fire.
Speaking
Evil
of
ball
which,
fire.
yeah, we're still working on dimmer switch for that.
Yeah. Actually, I came up with an idea for that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so what if you could suspend, nanobots into the atmosphere and, have like their natural state be off, but when you turn them on, they form like this super reflective surface, essentially like a atmospheric shimmer that reflects most of the sun's light back into space.
They call those solar panels, except that they don't fly.
Oh. Well, I was trying to come up with a way to reverse global warming, so...
So like...
Solar panels.
So like anti-reflective shielding.
Yes, reflective shielding.
Or anti-reflective shielding, which does not let the sun's rays come through, right?
Now, see, that would be a good idea, too. Essentially...
That reminds me of a rather deplorable movie, Highlander 2, The Quickening.
That movie does not exist.
If you remember the world that he created when he did the whole global net thing, right? Always always rain in clouds.
No.
Because if you ban sunlight, you'll have always rain in clouds.
Highlander 2 is like Indiana Jones 2. Those movies do not exist.
I know.
It's kind of like the last two seasons of Stargate.
That's why it's more commonly referred to as Highlander 2, the quickening.
Yeah.
I had a totally wise-ass remark, but I completely forgot it.
I have saved the world.
First curvy silence.
Oh, by the way, hello, I'm Miles.
Hey, Miles. I'm Sarah.
So, Dolphin Moon isn't eclectic teaching coven?
Right. It's the Mother Coven is in Colorado, in Denver specifically, and they're called the Covenant of Cernunnos, and they were inspired by.
I just live there.
I don't remember the exact story, but either the high priest or the high priestess or both had Cernunnos come into their bedroom, and they're not a couple, by the way. So these were individual bedrooms, and informed them that they needed to focus on teaching, and it really didn't matter what. They were not meant to teach a certain dogma or anything like that. They were just there to share the knowledge. And that was the coven that Phil was initiated into. And then somewhere along the way, I got sucked up into their evil plot. I mean, initiated into the coven. And
when was this?
I don't remember. There are a lot of things about my early pagan career that I do not remember, and I'm fairly certain that some of it may have involved alcohol. So
it often does.
People like to initiate me into things when I'm drunk. And it only takes like one drink for me to get drunk. So.
I used to live in Denver from 1998 until 2003. So I know places like Houses and Arts and Wings and Isis Books and all those places very well. It's different ways if it's still around. Fun town.
Yeah.
Let's see. As I heard it over drinks one night at Dragonfest, is that there was a religious survey taken in Denver, and the pagans beat out the Mormons and only lost out to the Catholics and the Protestants.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them, which is good. Sure as heck beats North Carolina. So anyway, I'm sorry. I jump all over your interview.
Random commentary is fun.
Indeed.
You lucked out. I'm in the process of passing out, and although you seem pretty resistant, you avoided psychological damage from something that was inappropriate, I was going to say. So,
I'm psychologically damaged anyways.
I know. I said you were resistant.
I'm already immune to your virus.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get inoculated?
Well, when reality is the place that you go to on vacation, crazy doesn't seem so crazy anymore.
I actually had a talk with someone earlier today along this line.
Yeah.
Although, ironically, I was referring to reality as a fairy tale.
Yeah.
A practical sort of way, but you know.
Well, maybe it's Disney World, and then it's like a fairy tale that you go to on vacation.
I mean, I was referring to it as the real world, though, as the fairy tale. I mean, it's the way it should work in the real world, and then there's the way it works in Bizarro World.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you can't do 300 things with your life and manage to be at least moderately successful in all of them without losing a few blocks of something or other. Normalcy, I think they call it.
Gray matter?
No, the gray matter's still there. It may be configured slightly differently. Apparently I'm running a different program. It's like
Different
I'm a
programs
Mac.
just make life interesting.
You just like a phone somebody rooted. It's just not running the right software anymore.
Exactly.
That'd be an awesome T-shirt. Rewire your gray matter.
Yeah.
I like that.
I rooted my gray matter.
Yep. I believe that would be what is it called? Blah, 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 blah. It's that place where you download artwork and then they put it on, ornaments and T-shirts and cups and stuff.
Oh, Cafe Press?
Thank you.
Yeah, that one.
That's a Cafe Press kind of thing.
I think Scare's actually getting psychologically damaged on his way out.
It depends. I mean, I'm pretty much far enough gone that when I wake up tomorrow, this is all going to be a blur.
Okay.
So.
Yay, blur.
Tomorrow you'll be waking up like, PanGaia Store. Is that part of 4chan Monopoly? The heck are you thinking?
Sometimes when I get up early on Thursdays, I actually do read the chat.
That's silly.
Oh, are you kidding? Sometimes it's a fun exercise going, okay, this was inspired by something that was spoken. But what?
Yeah, that reminds me of something that ironically enough happened today, which is you get going on like this weird tangential conversation, and then somebody asks the all-consuming question of, how did we get here?
Yeah.
And then we look at the recording.
No, we used to do that, but I mean, after on bad ADD days, I press the mute button. It keeps certain people from wanting to kill me.
Yeah.
Sometimes including myself.
I once had a roommate who got one of those, those round lights that you push and it turns it on. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a clicker light, and we actually labeled it. We actually labeled it the mute button because we decided that there were just some things that we were going to think so loudly that it needed to be bleeped out.
Brandon, you're on mute.
I know. Brandon's on mute? Cool.
It's amazing when you can put people on mute in real life.
Yeah.
I should be able to do that more often in my life.
I tried to put myself on mute, but then you come into the room.
What?
I said I tried to put myself on mute, but then you come into the room and speak to me. Thus, I talk back.
I love you.
Somewhere out there, somebody will think that statement makes sense.
But Dave, it made perfect
Speaking of
sense.
Brandon,
Oh,
I agree. It did make a lot of sense. You know, the call to socialize is very, just infectious.
oh yeah, you'd appreciate this, even though we're recording. The topic of my religion came up earlier, and they said, well, it can be kind of hard to prove your spiritual bend and all that stuff. I said, actually, in my case, it's Googleable. What?
To go slightly off of scurvy side note, on my way into work this morning, I stopped and talked to a very intelligent coworker that was watching one of the mysteries of the universe type deal on the Discovery Channel. I think it was last night or the night before, and they were talking about the ideas of parallel universes, and they were proving it in math, and the ideas of basically the Rainbow Bridge and the ability to travel from basically travel faster than the speed of light, and all of these other ideas that basically makes a lot of the ideas of the gods possible. Cool. That there's different layers, and they're real thin and real and very close to one another. So a lot of the discussions that I know that we've had, mainly on a one-on-one basis, very plausible, which is slightly scary.
and to go off of that, we're talking about Brandon and his statements and his illogical things earlier. Brandon had used the term Wiccanism a while ago, and I would just like to point out that on a video, yes, Wiccanism.
Ooh.
On a video that was passed around from Son of Pan, the girl kept referring to her religion as Wiccanism. I claim PCP effect.
That was a bad PCP effect, okay? That was a bad PCP trip.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Brandon, for making it easier.
It was
to
even
point
in
out
the
we don't talk to
freaking
you.
national news, Wiccanism. Oh.
Wow.
Well done, Brandon.
Yay for my poor English.
I was about to ask, is Wiccanism kind of like an orgasm?
What?
Anything
No.
eventually becomes an...
Remember, scurvy is sleep deprived. Most of anything that comes out of his mouth will be, what? I love you, Scurv.
Okay.
As Sam eloquently puts, not everything that is an ism can be like a climax.
Why not?
Because isms are anticlimactic?
Only if you're not doing it right.
Or as Pat corrects, that would be an asm, not an ism.
Is it? True.
I think
Wiccanasm?
everything is climaxable.
Wiccanasm is climaxable. Okay.
Wicasmic.
Wow.
Sounds like a
That's
breathing
awful.
disorder.
That's wicasmic.
Yeah, that was the Dave Gagel that says, I'm going to get you back for this later.
I probably will without realizing it.
Yeah.
Sounds like some kind of an antacid medication. I don't know why.
Well, I think as far as the interview goes, we're about done. So
We're
we
done.
go off
Yeah,
on another
Monopoly to
tangent.
Wiccagasms.
If you could be so kind as to give us the list of all the places that we can find your things.
Things? I have
Things.
Things?
So that people can
So
buy
we-
all the things.
Yes.
Things, not thing. Oh, wait, yeah, things. Oh, gosh. The whole list?
Ism this is.
Well, the main ones. Because I have, let's see, we have PanGaiaStore.com, PanGaiaStore.com/blog. We have Phil on radio.blogspot.com. We have blogtalkradio.com/Pagan Musings.
Yeah, the Pagan Musings feed also has all their shows and the one they didn't mention, which is Pagan Weekly News.
Okay. And then we have Kalima, darkside.blogspot.com. Is there any others that we're missing?
I got the Facebook in the chat room. I got the Twitter in the chat room.
You also on G+.
Yes! Oh gosh, Phil did that. What did Phil do?
What did Phil do? Uh-oh.
I don't remember what Phil did. Where did Phil put that?
Oh yeah, I think PanGaia Metaphysical is on Google Plus as well.
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't think so. No. There's other things that have the same name-ish. I think it's Pagan Musings. Yeah, Pagan Musings podcast channel is on there. We'll get that. Maybe. Click, darn you, click. Copy, paste. There you go.
Okay.
And
it will be in the show notes so we can add that into later.
Yay. Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Oh, I'm like... Why are we invoking deities?
We are?
Yeah, apparently.
That's Nuria. Just ignore him.
Oh, well then.
No, Nuria. No.
You say it as if it's so easy to ignore Nuria.
Yeah, wow. Ignore Nuria.
Invoking deities belongs in the bedroom like everything else.
Brown chicken bow wow?
You're essentially a bad influence. You need to loiter around here more often.
Yeah, I'm evil.
Bedroom set. Okay.
I love how our episode sounds so polished and professional after post-production. And in reality, it's 4chan Monopoly and bedroom set.
The joys of editing.
Yeah, but I mean, if I really wanted to make a tasteless joke, I could point out that there is a significant percentage of the post-production crew that is currently seeking professional help.
Yeah.
Now, Scurvy, how much of that is your responsibility?
What?
Let's see, we got Amber and Joe and Sam and me on post-production. So 25%.
Yeah.
We should do a potential study. If everyone did post-production, who would need mental help?
All of them.
It should be a reality
Before,
post-production,
after
no reality show.
Before or after the post-production?
Wait, are you talking about actually needing or actually seeking?
You know, I actually did do a reaction. I actually did do a reaction video once when I was post-producing.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd
Where
that
can
turn
we
out?
find?
I'm gonna do some hard drive digging for it.
Sounds interesting.
This had audio and sometimes I say bad things about people when I'm post-producing. So.
All this talk of post-producing reminds me, Dave, did you listen to the Pagan Men?
I've been meaning to, and I will post the episode as soon as I get around to listening to it, basically. Everybody's been like, we need more Pagan Men. I'm like, oh, dude, that's not what I can do, man. Sorry.
You might want me to put up a slightly edited version after you look at it.
Uh-oh.
What did you do?
He challenged me, and I accepted the challenge.
Oh, jeez, I forgot what that challenge was. That was like half a year ago.
Don't challenge Bear, you won't like it.
There was a challenge?
Apparently there was one.
Huh? What was the challenge?
Well, listen to the episode.
Okay.
Alright. This ought to be entertaining.
I agree with Sean, we have to take into account the mental stability of us while we're recording before we can do the post-production.
Yeah, we need to measure the net change in mental stability.
So how are we gonna measure this?
I don't know. The military should have some sort of quantification tool for this.
How many drinks we need to have after to deal with it?
How many people
What do we need after? We have a drinking game for jury.
Good point,
I think a reference to the drinking game itself should warrant a drink.
Yeah.
For scurvy silence, take a drink.
But Miles is here.
Hello. See what
Take
I
a drink.
got? You see what I got to put up with?
How many people do we have here tonight? Holy crap.
I don't know.
2,
A few.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 people tonight.
That's because PanGaia is just that awesome.
Yeah, they
Yay.
PanGaia?
Why is Scurvy asking that question like, what's PanGaia? I'm like, dude! 2
Where have
hours,
you
man!
been the whole time?
Shall we go for final thoughts?
Sure.
Seems to be that's where this discussion is going.
Final thought is cool with me. My final thought is more people need to go to the PanGaia shop and buy stuff so they have enough funds to open up their own store.
Yeah, and they sell floor washes, so if you need to wash your floor, go to PanGaia. Yo.
What? Wait, what?
Huh?
We're doing final thoughts and telling people how they need to buy your stuff.
Right.
Just agree with us.
Okay. Wait, you're washing a floor with something at PanGaia La Bamba?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that
Sure,
fun?
why not?
We also used to have they discontinued it, but they used to have like magical oil mixes in aerosol form. I know, right? It's like, hello, convenience.
Yeah, I got a pressurized aerosolizer, basically. It basically, you take your oil mixtures and you can push it and compress it and compress it and compress it, and then it becomes like a spray. And it's like an air freshener. And you can use any oil with it.
You can get those aerosol thingies through Pampered Chef, I think it is. Yeah.
And we would also like to put out there to all the awesome crafters out there that they should hook up with PanGaia and have another venue to sell their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome person that makes hand fasting dresses in England, and person who makes awesome food who we haven't interviewed yet, and I thought we did. And
Wait, awesome
The
food
Groovy
that
Baker?
you're interviewing food?
yeah,
Well, the Groovy Baker, she makes really, really awesome lollipops.
awesome
Plus
pagan
candies and what, sugar flowers and...
Sugar flowers, and she can do gluten-free cakes, and she's spectacular. I love her.
Then there's the awesome Hoodoo Ozatru chick. She should get her stuff in there.
That's right.
Wait, Hoodoo Osatru?
Yes.
Yes, she does some hoodoo. She does some Osatru. Really awesome oils. I love her.
Awesome oils.
What an interesting combination.
She makes great fire throwers. Yeah, we have interviews with all these people. PaganShoppingNetwork.com.
Yeah. Just send them all our way.
We sure will.
Well, here is information for the Groovy Baker, because I love her stuff lots. She even came out with a new Valentine's Day poison apple lollipop.
Oh.
Not that it would kill you.
Is that a tooth? What is that?
Where? I don't
In
know.
the mango ginger lollipops?
Probably mango or ginger.
Yeah, it's probably
It looks like a
mango.
shark's tooth.
It does.
I eat shark's teeth for breakfast.
Candy for breakfast, Dave? Really?
That was funny how many people at work thought I actually was eating shark's teeth for breakfast out in San Diego. That was fun. I guess I just have that kind of personality.
That's awesome, Dave.
It's a lollipop that bites back.
Ooh, they have a lavender and honey. Okay, I need to stop looking
Final
at the
thoughts. Moving on. Final thoughts.
Amber's final thought is, ooh, candy.
So nothing about PanGaia. Insert crickets here.
Yeah, that's Barrett's thought. Now we got Brandon's thought, which was a comment on Amber's thought. Amber's thought is done. My thought's done. Miles.
Hello there. What's my final thought is actually I wish I'd heard more of the interview because the place sounds fascinating.
It is
Sorry,
fascinating.
my final thought is I came in late and the dogs are barking. I'm sorry.
Okay. Joe, you're still with us. What's your final thought?
Me being with you is sort of debatable at to some exact point, but yeah, I got nothing.
Okay.
Joe, can I translate to derp? I'm sorry. I love you, Scurvy. Whenever you're this exhausted, I figure I get enough times where that's pretty much that all comes out of my mouth, like sort of right now, where I can't talk. But you know, we all have those times.
I'll get y'all later.
Night, Scurv.
Night, Scurv.
Okay.
Bye, Scooby.
Hi, sir.
Yes, I will discover the bed.
Go out and visit the undiscovered bed. Amanda, what's your final thought?
Dave said something about he left a present in his bed or something. We were wanting to ask you about that.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Something before we started recording.
I said I was making use of my investment in my bed.
Oh, okay. Investment in your bed.
Meaning he has a new bed that is quite comfy, right?
Correct. And it's getting used.
Ouch. Oh well.
Wait,
See,
you
Barrett
used
gets it!
Alrighty. Oh, well.
These final thoughts will have to be edited.
Oh, shit, yeah. How's your post-production be like? Awesome. Groovy. I like that. Awesome!
It'll sound like an episode of Hell's Kitchen. Beep, 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 beep.
No, actually, a lot of obscenities you can just sort of make them not there anymore. Sometimes there's other things you can do other than beep.
Yeah, but it's more fun when it beeps.
No, it's not.
Yeah, our Montreal listeners do not like the beeps. They can't understand our show without all the cussing. I laugh because that's actual listener feedback we've gotten.
Well, you know, if the American public wasn't such a bunch of pansy Puritan freaks.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
I agree with her.
Barrett, final thought.
It was insert crickets here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Naria, final thought.
I should have played the drinking game tonight, guys.
I love this. Naria's got a scratchy throat, and all he can talk in the way that don't hurt him is the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Night.
Alright,
No,
Kat's
sure.
kind of here, but she's on mute. Oh, geez, who's the mystery person over there? Sean! I haven't heard a thing from Sean all night. Sean, you have a final thought. Alright, moving on. Sam, what's your final thought?
My final thought is I'm very sad that I had to run errands with my parents and missed a good chunk of the interview.
Don't worry, we'll have to post-produce it. If you want, I'll make you post-produce it. This way you can hear the episode before it gets condensed down into 20 minutes.
Oh, that's my my final thought. Using the right version of Audacity makes post-production so much easier.
It sure does. Alright, so that's it for this week's episode of PCP, the Pagan Center Podcast. Join us next week when we're talking about something else! Oh, we're talking about energy work next week. Healing. Advanced healing tactic.
Yay!
I actually remember next week's topic for once. How about that?
Woo!
Yeah,
Alright, so thank you all for joining us tonight, and good night, everyone!
Good night!
Night.
Night.